messages from YouTube. Just bear with me. It says at least 86% of frames dropped due to an unstable network. Bloody, 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 blah. Okay, fair enough. I hope that you can hear me. I think you might be able to. Now it says it's the stream health is excellent. Great, good old YouTube and its inconsistencies. So I'm assuming you can hear me. It looks like there's a few people on watching me from YouTube. Yes, I think so. So, hello, welcome to Sky Spirit again. Good morning, Mandy. I hope you've had a good couple of days. Thank you for being here. Stick with me for the next 40 minutes, 45 minutes, up to an hour, to find out what astrology has in store for us today, a collective tarot reading, and then we'll do a larger tarot reading where you can ask questions of the cards. You'll also get an opportunity to ask a question if you would like an answer from the cards, and we'll see how we go on for time with that. I haven't got a fly sitting on my nose here. What this is a disco ball injury. Believe it or not, I was over the weekend trying to put up in my studio, I was trying to put up a microphone over the easel so that I could record the sounds of painting. So when I do a painting video, it's like all those lovely ambient sounds. So I was trying to put this bracket up over the studio. Good morning, Joanne. How are you doing? From TN USA, Tennessee? Is that Tennessee? So I'm trying to put this bracket up, and I have like because like the ceiling of my art studio is like weird. I've got weird stuff going on in there. But so anyway, I was looking up like this, trying to push this disco ball out of the way so I could screw this bracket to the ceiling. But the disco ball, was hanging just on like a little hook. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the chat. The disco ball was hanging from a little hook, and I pushed it out the way, and it fell straight onto my upturned face and knocked a chunk out my nose, and there was like blood everywhere. So it was quite amusing, to say the least. So I've literally spent the last year worrying about dying after I was ill last year with cancer. And I have spent a year worrying about dying of cancer to be taken out by a disco ball, which would have been marvellous, and a far better end, I would say. So, but anyway, that's the story of the nose. I thought I'd say before, because, you know, when somebody's got something on their face and you're like, you don't want to mention it in case something's happened, but you can't stop looking at it. And like looking at it, to me on the camera, it looks like a fly has landed on my nose. So it is not. It is a big chunk of skin. Right, okay, I hope you're all doing well. It has been an interesting couple of days in the skies, and it feels like the energies are dissipating from the solar winds and things like that. We're coming away from a full moon, so the intensity is lessening. However, I've been watching that Stefan Burns bloke, and he's really, really good on YouTube if you haven't seen him yet. He seems to be like a physicist, geophysicist, astrophysicist with a little bit of a spiritual slant. Like he drops a few little spiritual clues in there. It's so interesting. And I think he was saying that there's another solar storm coming. So brace yourselves, it's all going to kick off again. It looks like a big one as well. And interesting, I was so interested to see that he was talking about there's a big hole in the sun's corona which is just spinning around, and apparently these holes are known to there's a correlation with big earthquakes. So I mean, I'm saying this and you probably all watch it, so I'm sort of telling you what you already know, but apparently we might expect earthquakes 24th, 25th, which is when it will be at its highest, the effect. So if I was living in an earthquake zone, I would be sleeping outside in a tent. Yeah, KLG, yeah, it's like that hole apparently or something comes round every so often, and it's coming round and then there's this sunspot kicking off at the same time. It's so interesting. I love his videos, I really do. Right, okie doke. So So, thinking about other astrology, so normal astrology, we have got this evening, we've got the moon is going into Pisces, the sign of Pisces. So that's like super, super emotional and super deep. Pisces is water, it's the jumping fish. Pisceans are very psychic. So you might find your intuition becomes more evident, okay, because that moon is how we are on the outside a lot and how we present, and Pisces being intuitive, you might find that your intuition makes a show. Now it also, the moon is trining Jupiter in Cancer. Cancer's another water sign as well. So again, it's very emotional. And Jupiter's a great planet because it's like the planet of luck and the planet of the unexpected and all that. So tales of the unexpected, expect the unexpected. Also, tonight, if it's the only night of the year that you do it, get yourself a dream diary by the side of your bed, because this alignment is like huge for creating symbolic dreams or enabling you to manifest spiritual downloads. So get that dream journal by the side of your bed and make sure that you write things down when you wake up in the middle of the night with like this mad idea in your head that you've just dreamt of. What did I dream of last night? You see, this is what happens. You like literally, it fades. It's called a shadow memory, isn't it? And you like literally, it just fades and it seems so strong when you first woke up. Mine was about Trump and Musk. I can't remember what, but I'd just literally listened to an old reading I did about Trump and Musk ages ago, because I often go back and listen to readings to see if anything actually came true, and it did. And it was interesting because I was talking about Musk and his potentially like dabbling in drugs and stuff like that. And I shouldn't say that, should I? Drugs. Oh, I said it again. Rugs. Is that how we say it on YouTube? Those things, those D-rugs things. And it's funny because I checked on the reading and I said that because I saw that on the news yesterday. So there you go. Yeah, so get yourself a dream diary. The following day, because we look at 2 days in a row here, we have got Mars entering Virgo. Now this really means Mars is like the planet of war. Virgo is like critical, quite detail oriented, quite calm, quite earthy, sorting things out. So it feels like Mars, you're going to feel a lot calmer, and it could sort of cool your passions about things. But it's one of those times that's like, you know, when sometimes you can be too filled with sort of passion for things and you don't get anything done because you just like go from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing. And like with Mars entering Virgo, it's like it strengthens your resolve. You become more tenacious. It's like a better time for focus. So that's going to occur over the next 3 days. So interesting little set of astrology there. But I love today's aspects with that dream connection as well. So make sure that you get your dream diary, dream journal, I should say, by your bed. Right. Okay, 3-card reading. This is a collective reading, so I always think if Spirit wants to get a message to you, this is an ideal time. So this reading could be focused for you, could be about you. You might resonate very strongly with you, or it might be about somebody else, or it could be an overarching reading. Okay, that's not a get out clause. That's because I am doing a 3-card reading and probably 100 people will watch this video, so it's like it would be daft of me to say it's for all of you, because it isn't. All right, but it gives me the opportunity to do an end-to-end reading, even though it's only a little one. Right, okay, right, yes, Kaza, what's on my nose? It's not a fly. I hit myself on the face. I dropped a disco ball on my head when I was trying to fit a microphone to the studio ceiling, because I've got like fairy lights and disco balls and sparkly things in there, but it wasn't nice when it landed on my face. I like saw it coming as well, you know, when you like slow motion, and it just like knocked me nearly off the stool I was standing on. So anyway, back to this 3-card reading. Here we go. Let's put that down over here in my new scene. So we have got, we've got the 2 of Cups. We've got the 2 of Wands. And we've got the Four of Cups. Interesting cards, aren't they? So basically, we've got two twos there. Twos are about harmony and they're about balance. But what we've got there is we've got harmonious relations, but we've also got an upside down two, which is the Two of Wands, which is about plans being scuppered, feeling like you're being held back. So it feels to me like there is a compromise being needed to be made here. It feels like your relationship with another person could get in the way of your plans and what you intend to do. And if you look at the Two of Wands here, that's terrible light. Let me just close that curtain a bit. That's better. All right, so if you look at the Two of Wands, here stands a man with a globe in his hand looking across the horizon between two sticks. These are his two ideas. These are, when you see a two, it's like the coming together of male and female before they spawn a child. It's like that embryonic stage of planning, okay? When this is upside down, it's like that has been scuppered. For some reason, the plans have fallen through, and teaming it with this harmonious Two of Cups card, it feels like there's a relationship issue here, which is making plans fall by the wayside. Now, the third card in our triptych of cards this morning is, oh yes, Anita, no, Kazabet, coloured comment screen. Wait. Thank you. Let me just put that on. Yay. Okay, so third card is the Four of Cups. This is about missed opportunities and boredom and contemplation. So it feels to me like there's an opportunity that's going to be missed because it's a problem between you and another person. Doesn't have to be your partner, okay? Could be somebody that you deal with at work, could be a child, could be a relative, could be a friend, but it's something to do with an issue between you and another person that causes a hiatus. Is that the word? Get me with hiatus words this morning. I think it's like, is that like a pause, isn't it? I should just say pause and not try to be clever. Causes a pause, causes a stop, causes a stutter in your plans moving forward. And then it feels like you become you could be quite put out by it, feeling like, right, well, that didn't work out. But look what's happening in the background of this card, because there is a hand coming through the cloud holding a cup. You're being offered an opportunity from the mists of time, okay? But it's like you literally aren't looking at it, okay? You're literally looking at what's in front of you, looking at those cups going, well, don't like my lot, this is really rubbish, oh, there's nothing going to happen, because you're so despondent that this little plan sort of got scuppered, okay? But you need to look round and see this cup. So it's like saying, okay, that didn't work out for you, but there's another opportunity literally being handed to you, and you're not even seeing it, you're not even noticing it. So the message of that card, or those three cards, is basically to take stock and to look for that opportunity and recognize that when your plans are scuppered, when one door closes, another door opens. And that's basically sorry, I must stop getting distracted by the chat, because when people re-watch this afterwards, because most people watch this as a recording and they won't be able to see the chat, so they'll just see me going constantly reading like this. I will read it later. Right, so what we're going to do now is move on to a 12 card reading, which is actually a 24 card reading, but I still haven't worked out a way to put that clearly. Answers on a postcard, please. So what we're going to do, I'm going to put down 12 piles of 2 cards, and if you have a question, think of the question and choose a number, or choose more than one number, or just listen to all of the explanations of those 12 piles and just take what resonates with you. If you have got any questions for me to answer at the end, if you put them into the chat, put QQQ at the start of them, or even type them in full capitals if you want, because I generally miss questions because the chat's going up the side of my screen here, and I'm trying not to look at it all the time. So let's go for the 12 card reading then. 24 card, 12 position reading. Right, so think of your question, or just keep your mind open and think, okay, what does the tarot have to tell me today? Okay, let's go. This is 1, 2, 3. Oh, we're not even on the screen. We're going to put this screen on. Look, that's better. Right, move them up there. 1, 2, 3. Oh man, this is going to go off the side. I've got my camera in the wrong place today. Let's see if I can. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We go round again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, focus on your question. Let's go. We're going to go for number 1 to start with. Oh, okay, so what we've got here is the reversed Wheel of Fortune reversed, and the 3 of Pentacles reversed. This feels like there could be a disappointment at work, or there could be a disappointment with something that's to do with training or work or education. So it feels like there was a bit of a disappointment, like this 3 of Pentacles reversed. You would see if there was like a failure to progress, failure to get a promotion, something that had gone wrong at work, okay, and something which didn't work out how you wanted it to work out. However, we have associated with this card the Wheel of Fortune reversed. So these 2 cards together are saying, okay, what you wanted, what you hoped for, either in work, education, training, something to do with something that you were learning, or a learning phase of your life, what you'd hoped to achieve, you didn't achieve it, okay, because it wasn't your destiny. Your destiny lies somewhere else. So it's like, don't sort of mourn the loss of this thing, or don't be disappointed that it didn't work out in this case, okay, because you're meant for something else. Again, there's that theme: when one door closes, another door opens. This is a closed door. This is an open door to what's actually in your you're right, Kaza, I can't help reading the comments. Right, so focus. Don't mourn what is lost. Look to the future. Your future lies somewhere else. Your destiny is somewhere else. Okay. Right. Number 2. Oh, change the screen. Number 2, we have the Page of Pentacles reversed and the 10 of Pentacles. Let's take a look at these cards. So what we've got here are, right, funnily enough, the Page of Pentacles reversed is also about a mistake at work, or something that didn't work out at work, which is really weird, isn't it? I love it when we get these correlations. The universe speaks in mysterious ways, and synchronicities are abound always, aren't they? So we've got an issue at work. We've got a mistake at work. We've got a problem with work or training or education. And I say that because not everybody is at work, but everybody has work-like tasks, don't they? Even if you don't work, even if you're so rich you don't need to work, you've still got to do basically some things. Unless you're really, really rich, and then you can pay somebody to do everything that you don't want to do. But then I would imagine you'd be quite 4 of Cups bored. But if you're a normal person, then there are things that you have to do that you don't really want to do, but you have to, okay? And this card symbolizes when they all go wrong, or when something happens that causes an upset in that respect. The usual way to interpret this is work. But of course, I've just explained there that not everybody works, but there are work-related tasks. So something goes wrong. And it feels like, I mean, this card can even signify, is that the word? Signify a loss of employment. So it's a mistake that needs rectified. If you're sitting there going, oh, did anybody notice that I did that at work? Maybe they did. They did, okay? You need to sort it, or you need to come clean if this is the case. But we have teamed with this card, the 10 of Pentacles, which again, just like our first pair where we had the Wheel of Destiny, your fortune lies in a different direction, this 10 of Pentacles here is about financial fulfillment. So it feels like there's been a mistake at work. However, it feels like it sort of has a happy consequence. You know, when, right, for example, this would be, right, when I was a kid, I worked in a riding stables, and I got caught smoking in a horse's stable. I was only 14, right? I got caught smoking in a horse's stable, so I got sacked from my Saturday job at the riding stables. However, leaving there, I then was able to get a job in a hotel, which was far better and far better hourly rate, which was probably about £2 an hour back in the days of old. But to me, it was a fortune. It meant I could go out and spend it all in one evening. So that would be this kind of situation. Something goes wrong at work, you make a mistake, so something bad happens. However, it sort of works out in your favor, yeah, and you end up in a better position. So I know that was a really strange little example, but it's a true example, and that would be exactly what those two cards would signify. So something of that kind. Okay, so look out for that if you chose number 2, or if these cards resonate with you. Number 12. Number 12. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so we've got the 2 of Cups again, but we've got it teamed with the 8 of Pentacles reversed. 8 of Pentacles reversed is also about really sort of skills at work not being recognized. You're not progressing at work. What is going on this morning with these synchronicities with these cards? It is a really strange pull this morning so far. So there's something about the skills that you have, you're not utilizing them correctly, you're not progressing, or your skills are going to waste. You have skills that I'm laughing because I'm reading the chat again, and I've just looked at Anita saying being drunk reminds her of being drunk at McDonald's. I would love to hear that story. That's the sort of thing that we all do when we're younger, isn't it? Going to work drunk and that. I love it. So I don't think I'd get away with that now. Anyway, so your skills aren't being utilized correctly. You're wasting them. You're wasting your skills, okay? Because it feels like what you're being told here is the way to harmony with yourself, okay? The way to achieve a sense of this is where I want to be, this is what I want to do, this is what makes me happy. You need to revisit what you've already learned. You need to go back at what you're good at, all right? What are you good at and what do you enjoy? Okay, so let's have a rewind. It could be that you're feeling really out of sorts with work, or just sort of jaded with it, or sick of it, or just wanting to try something else. And perhaps, perhaps don't think like, perhaps I should try something else, and then not. What's the worst that could happen if you actually just decided to try something else? All right, financially, yeah, we need a wage, but what about if you made a plan to try something else? Like maybe there's some skills that you could upskill in the background whilst maintaining your current job, revisit your skills, and then start applying for different jobs in the background. Or what about starting your own business? Because it feels like this way lies happiness. All right, now it could even be that you go into partnership with somebody else, or there's somebody else that you talk to that is important to this progression, to this upskill, to this change in your fortunes, really, at work and money wise. It's definitely money wise. So it could be indicating, I'm saying that because we've got the 2 of Cups here as well. It could be that you just find yourself more fulfilled in yourself, but there's also, because there's a 2, there's always a suggestion that this could be a partnership with somebody, like a business partnership as well. So interesting. I'm reading the chat again, and we're looking at Mr. Steve's talking about the youth training scheme. I did one of those. In fact, I did 2 of those. The stable where I got sacked from, that wasn't a YTS. That was when I was 14. But I did a YTS painting garden gnomes for a place called British Gnome Stores, and I had to sit all day painting garden gnomes, which was interesting. I got sacked from that one as well, actually, because I was a real partier and I was a raver at the time. It was the 90s, and I just used to go out over the weekend and then just not turn into work the next week. How things have changed. Number 11, I still would have given half a chance. Number 11, okay. I keep forgetting to change my screen. I must be more professional. Number 11, right. So what we've got is the Chariot, a major arcana card, and we have the Two of Pentacles reversed. So what do these cards mean? Right. It feels like things are going too fast for you. It feels like there's like this drive things. It's like, right, okay, imagine you're in the gym, you're on the treadmill, you don't know how to work it, you turn it up too fast and your legs are getting faster and faster and faster and faster and faster, and everybody's looking at you and you're like, oh my god, I'm going to fall off this. And then they get faster and faster and faster, and eventually you just bang your face down on it and you fly off the end of it. That is your Chariot and your Two of Pentacles reversed, because this is like forward motion, and this is way too much, and all those plates you were spinning are clattering to the floor because you're going too fast, because you've taken on too much. So the message, the lesson from these cards is to park up your Chariot. Okay, park up the Chariot, go to the McDonald's drive-through, do what you have to do, park in a car park, sit and look at the view. All right, stop the wheels, stop the ride, I want to get off. Okay, because you're going to have to do that in order to retain your balance. Okay, look at this guy, he's balancing his finances, he's balancing his work life, he's balancing things to do with his home and work, he's balancing all the stuff that he has to do. When he's up this way, it's all become too much and he's dropped everything, and that's because it's all going too fast. You're moving too fast. You need to slow down, you need to regroup, you need to even excuse me, you might need to delegate some of your responsibilities if that's possible, or just say no. Oh, the power of no. I'm just learning this recently. You know, when someone goes, oh, do you want to do this? And you think, no, but I'm going to have to. If you just say no, it's marvelous. But you don't even have to give people an explanation like, no, I'm washing my hair, and you just go, no, because you don't bloody want to do it. Yeah, and we don't have to do these things, and it's such a liberating feeling. So this is like, this is what you need to do in this situation. You just need to start prioritizing, start saying no, stop the ride you want to get off. You need to chill before you drop your stuff all over the floor. Okay, so if you chose number 11, you need to take a chill pill. Okay, right, number 10. Number 10. Oh, Kaza. Kaza. We've got the cabbage man. He is weeing on his cabbages this morning, and it's all gone terribly wrong for him because we've got the tower right next to him. This is like he's weed on an electric socket and he's caused a big fire. Let's have a look at these cards. So we already know when we have the cabbage man makes an appearance. I've programmed it into this deck now to say that when we have the cabbage man, it means that we're going to have a wonderful day. It's going to be a fabulous day ahead. So that is Kaz's cabbage man is with us this morning. We have been graced by a visit from the elusive cabbage man. Wonderful start to the week. So, but this cabbage man, who's actually the Seven of Pentacles, is teamed with the Tower. So what the Seven of Pentacles is about is reaping the rewards of a harvest. Okay, it's like you've put a lot of work into something and now you get to harvest what you've put into it. This could be, you could be growing cabbages. All right, you probably aren't growing cabbages, but you could be. All right, but think about things that you plant, seeds that you plant, you water, you nurture, that grow. So it's that sort of nurturing thing. What have you nurtured? What have you put energy into? Is it something physical? Is it something mental? Have you put energy into somebody else? And now you feel like you can harvest that energy. So it's like you're now waiting for something to be reciprocated. So if you had been growing cabbages, you'd be waiting to harvest them and eat them. And that would be the reciprocation of that energy that you put into them. If you'd been supporting somebody who'd been having a hard time, you've been putting energy into them, and then you might say, oh, do you fancy a coffee? And they say yes, and then you unload on them, or you know, they just give you something back, even if it's just that mental sort of acknowledgement of the help that you've given them, okay? Or if you've been putting money into savings, it might be time to take it out. Or if you've, the things that you've put work into, like for me, this would indicate I've been doing a lot of I've been doing a lot of work on a new soundtrack thing, a new meditation thing, and I've put a lot of work into it. And then over the next couple of days, I'll be able to mix it down and create a full track. So that would be, I know that sounds really irrelevant, doesn't it? But that would be my Cabbage Man card. Okay, so it's that thing that you've put a lot of work into that you can then harvest from. However, what we have here teamed with Cabbage Man is the Tower. So the Tower is about unforeseen events and things. Nothing's ever the same after a Tower moment in life, okay? So it feels to me like there's this situation where you're harvesting from energy, okay? So the energy that you put into something you're taking back or you're getting back. However, there's going to be an unexpected turn of events, all right? So it feels like I'm reading the chat. Sorry again. No, Bailey, it's not a fly on my nose. I dropped the disco ball on my face while trying to put a bracket on the ceiling of my studio. There was blood everywhere. So it feels like there's going to be this unexpected event, which is going to change things. And it feels like you might have to abandon this plan, okay, and rebuild what you'd started to do. So if this guy was harvesting cabbages, it would be like his harvest had come to fruition. However, when he harvested them, he sat down to eat them and realized that they'd all been infected by this particular parasite. So he had to go and burn his cabbage field back down to the bare earth, dig it all over and restart again. This is the cabbage analogy of what these two cards would mean. So try to relate that, if you can, it's a bit random, to your life. What is it that you might have to rebuild, okay, which you thought was ready to be harvested? Now, the Tower card isn't necessarily a bad card because it's like a forest fire. It's like it burns the dead wood and it enables you to start again. Everything's cyclic or cyclic or whatever the word is in tarot, okay? So when we knock the tower down, we will rebuild it, and you rebuild the strongest buildings come from building from fine foundations, deep foundations, solid foundations. Does the signal keep playing up, KLG? I hope it works out. I hope this uploads, because sometimes when it does that, like afterwards, it'll only upload a little bit. So we shall just have to see. Nothing I can do apart from wait and see what happens. So anyway, that is your Cabbage and Tower cards this morning. What should we go for next? We'll go for number 3. Number 3, we've got a Queen of Swords and we've got an 8 of Wands. So what do we have here? Okay, so if you're on the market for romance, you've got the potential for something coming your way. We've got Cupid's arrows here and we've got a Queen of Swords. So we've got somebody who's very much in charge and very sort of good with words, and could be an air sign. So it could be Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, or somebody with those airy qualities. And airy qualities are somebody who's a good communicator, somebody who's good with words, somebody who sort of comes across really well, is able to talk really well. So that's normally our Queen of Swords. This could be you, or it could be somebody that you meet. Now in tarot, we don't, queens aren't just females. They can be males or females. They're that feminine energy of a male. The Queen of Swords would be somebody who's quite accomplished, quite manipulative though, potentially, and quite spicy, but not the upside down Queen of Swords is a bit of a bitch, but when she's up this way, she's just on that line of being very razor sharp. So she hasn't sort of gone over to the like really sarky, bitchy side. She's still like, quite affable, but she's really razor tongued. Okay, so we've got a card of love and movement, and then we've got a Queen of Swords. So it feels like something could like hit you out the blue about a particular person who matches that description. Something might come into your mind, or they might even materialize out of the blue in your life. It's like they move in really quickly, and it's like, da-da, here I am. So watch out for that over the next couple of days. Who is your Queen of Swords? If this is another person, then expect them to move into your life. If this is you, it's still talking about this Cupid's arrow situation here too. So it's talking about a fast change of heart about something in particular. But the key here with the Eight of Wands is that it's something that happens really quickly. Okay, so interesting two cards. Let me know how these resonate with you, if they do, and how that works out. I'd like to hear what your Queen of Swords, Eight of Wands moment has been. So where do we go next? We will go to number 4. Number 4. We have got the Ace of Pentacles reversed, and we've got the Six of Pentacles. So these two cards are very interesting. They're both Pentacles. So Pentacles is very often about money, work, stability, earthy things, earthy pleasures, things that are stabilizing, things, food, water, shelter, all those things from the bottom of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you know, things that we need in order to survive, things that are stabilizing, earthing, new opportunities, money, work in particular. So we've got two pentacles. So money is highlighted. If you chose number 4, money is an issue for you at the moment, and particularly the fact that something money-wise seems to have stalled, because this card, this ace, this way up, Ace, Pentacles, new beginnings financially. All right, so this would be the ideal card if you were starting a business, starting a new job, starting a new venture, opening a new bank account, something, the new beginning of something sort of financial. Also could be, you know, moving house, that type of thing, which is a financial transaction. When it's this way up, it talks about something that didn't get off the ground, something that still remains shrouded in confusion from these clouds that are around this hand, something which has stalled, something which didn't pay off as you expected it to. And then we've got it teamed with the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is the card of giving and receiving. So it feels like something didn't get off the ground, or something that has started has just sort of fallen by the wayside, or there's been unforeseen developments. However, the card of giving and receiving is also about balance. So again, this resonates with the first couple, with number 1 and number 2 as well. It's like something didn't work out, but it's for the best almost, okay? Because what you've got here is a reciprocated giving and receiving card. So it's talking about you could be about to receive some help from somebody financially, or a situation financially. So it could be that something's about to come right for you financially. It's about, when you see this card, it's like you get this card when what's due to you comes to you, you know, like imagine if you fell over, somebody had left a pile of bricks on the street and you fell over them and broke your nose, all right? And it was somebody's fault because they'd left them on the street, and then you had to take time off work, and then you lost your job, and then you lost your house, and all because this idiot had left a pile of bricks on the street. So you sue them, okay? And then eventually you get what's coming to you. So you get a payout. This is this card, okay? Its balance has been reachieved. You have received, okay? So it feels like the message of these cards is that, okay, something went wrong financially. Something didn't get off the ground, or it didn't start, or it just sort of stalled. However, it's going to right itself. So you're being urged, draw back from this situation. Do not act on this. Don't make any changes. Don't go down a different path. Remain in that sort of dogged mindset of this will work. It's just going to take a little bit more time, because it feels like the balance will be redressed and this will sort of right itself. This card has got scales on it. When you see scales, it's talking about redressing a balance, so returning this to its upright position, which is a new opportunity. Okay. Right. Where should we go next? Where should we go next? We shall go to number 9. Number 9. Right. Interesting. Number 9. Right, okay. What we've got here is really clear. Something that you're trying to achieve isn't going to turn out how you want it to achieve. That's your 9 of Cups. That's the wish card reversed, which means your wish isn't going to come true unless you change what you're doing. The 2 of Swords is about choosing the right path and indecision, okay? So it feels like what these cards say is you're on the wrong path, yeah? What you're trying to achieve isn't going to happen because you're taking the wrong path, and it feels like you might have had a choice of 2 options, and these cards would suggest that you've chosen the wrong option. Now with tarot, always I try to avoid saying this is wrong or change this or do this, because we know nothing is set in stone destiny wise, okay? So rather than me saying, oh, you've taken the wrong path, what I should be saying here is you might want to look carefully at the path you've chosen, okay? Because I do think that tarot readers should be really careful about sort of telling people you've done this wrong or you've done this right, because of free will, and also because there's nothing, I don't think you get something set in stone. It's not set in stone. You can change things. You can change what has been foreseen in the cards by changing small things and making different decisions, all right? This is why with the tarot, I always say forewarned is forearmed, because this little heads up might make you just, it might make you review your choices. So something that you're trying to achieve, you might have had the choice of 2 different options. You've chosen one path. It feels like you need to re-examine your choices, okay? Particularly if it's a choice of one thing or the other. Look at this woman on this card. She has a blindfold on and she has the 2 swords there, and they're representing those 2 different paths. She's also got a moon over her head. Now, what this indicates, along with that blindfold, it's symbolic of her taking off the blindfold, using her intuition, and suddenly she's able to see clearly which way to go. So what you need to do is take off your symbolic blindfold by using your intuition. So examine the path that you've taken and then have a really good think and ask your intuition. Now, because of the astrology that we've got going on today, all right, remember I said we've got a we've got the moon going into Pisces, which is trining Jupiter in Cancer, and it's the perfect setup for prophetic and symbolic dreams, okay? Now, tying this in with this card and this card, if you are unsure of the way to go, what you might want to do is set your intention to tell you in your dreams. Ask to be shown, ask your higher self, ask your spirit guide to tell you which way to go, to give you a sign of which way to go. Do this before you go to bed. Sorry, when I cough there, I can see my microphone going straight into red there on the clip, so you're probably hearing a massive distortion, so I do apologise. What was I saying there? Yeah, so yeah, set your intention before you go to bed, perhaps. Put that dream journal, dream diary, piece of paper by your bed. Set your intention, ask to be shown the right way, and hope that you will be given a sign or a clear advice in a dream. All right. If that's not your thing, or if you don't dream, I know my stepdad says he doesn't dream, and I always say it's not that you don't dream, it's that you don't remember. But nonetheless, if that is you, then you can use your intuition in a different way. Perhaps you might need to, perhaps you could try using tarot, or try using a pendulum, or just try asking yourself while sitting quietly in meditation, and then looking at to see what visuals or sounds or thoughts come to mind. Also, a really, really good technique for asking your intuition a yes or no answer is it's like a gosh, what's it called? I forget what it is. Anyway, I'll explain how you do it. Right, stand up straight with your, you don't need to do this right now. I would do it, but you'd see I have shorts on. Nobody needs that in the morning. So what you can do to get a yes no answer from your higher self or your guardian angel or your spirit guide, however you see it, okay, there is something else, whatever it is, we're not sure. Stand up with your feet together, your legs straight, okay, and then ask to be shown. Say yes, and you'll either go forward or backwards or stay still, and then no. Normally, people go backwards when they say no, so that if they get a negative, they go backwards, and a positive, you go forwards, right? And try that a few times so you can calibrate your sort of way of swaying. I think it's called the sway test. You're going to stand, you know, with your feet close together, and get your yes and no, and then you can ask questions. It's the same as what the lady that's on with Beverly, is it Nero does her muscle testing like that. It's the same concept, okay? But I find it really, really useful, that one, and I find it works better than that one for me. So you can use that anyway to choose which path you should be going on, to get an answer from your higher self. So those are really, really important cards, I think, for somebody today, because, you know, we make so many choices in life, don't we, every day, and we're just like sort of floundering around in the darkness for a lot of the time, aren't they? We're like, you know, we no, KLG, there's no way you're seeing my shorts. But we're all floundering around in the darkness. It's difficult to know which is the right way to go, and I think that anything that can give us a little bit of help with making those decisions is great. And I think, you know, if we learn to listen to our higher self, our intuition, our instinct, that is so important, because our instincts are buried beneath watching TV, reading books, going for walks, shopping, people, this, that, and the other. We've become so evolved mentally in our sort of the bits of the brain which deal with evolved things. Maths, English, subjects, learning, work, art, everything that involves that sort of concentration, that we've lost that intuition, haven't we? So anything that can tap back into that, hooray. Niha, that's the one. Niha, KLG, not near. Did I say Nehru? I don't know who is Nehru. I don't know. Right, moving on. Less rabbit, more card turning. Number 5. Is that 5? It is 5. So we've got the 5 of Swords reversed, and then we've got the Knight of Swords reversed. These are really interesting cards, and I'll tell you why. Because both of them are about battle. Both of them are about fighting, battle, challenges. Now, our Knight of Swords here, upside down, this is the proverbial cowboy who sort of slams his way into the saloon bar, shoots from the waist, like shoots the barman, shoots all the glasses, shoots all the bottles, shoots all the rest of the guests in the bar, perhaps leaves one just for an audience, you know, and then slams his way out of the saloon doors and does off on his horse, okay? So it's that sort of rushing into something, shooting from the hip, attack, 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 and then leaving. All right, it's that short, sharp shock, that's difficult to say, of battle. Okay, and then we have the 5 of Swords reversed, which is also about conflict. Now this guy here, he's not a cowboy. What he's done is he's battered these 2 people you can see here, and he's taken their swords from them. All right, and then but he's looking at them as they sort of walk off into the sea. All right, he's looking back and he's like, well, was this all worth it? All right, now particularly because this is reversed, it's like being told, all right, have you lost face a bit here? You've battled, you went into battle really, really hastily. Did you do it too hastily? Okay, you've won, but at what cost? Are you looking back at this battle and thinking there were things you could have done differently? Perhaps you've treated somebody unfairly. Perhaps that you have, perhaps that you need to revisit a situation with a bit more tact, okay? Because our knight here, the Knight of Swords, is fantastically full of energy and that clarity of purpose. You know, when you're young, you're a knight and everything's black and white, and then somebody annoys you, you knock them down. Not physically, of course, hopefully, but you know, you just like, you don't think, do you? You just react, okay? But as we get older, sometimes these interactions need a bit more finesse and a bit more thinking through, and it feels like you may have acted a bit rashly, yeah, sort of gone in too quickly, acted a bit rashly. So you're being asked to look back at this battle Is there something that you could have changed? Do you need to make amends? If you don't, do you need to draw a line in the sand? Do you need, I look at the cards like that because I go from the images. I'm using the image to intuit the answer for you here. It's like, do you need to draw a line in the sand between you and a very emotional situation where there's been a conflict? Is it still clinging on to you? You know, when you've argued with somebody, but though you're still going through the argument in your head, you're still hearing it, you're still going over every little thing that was said, what you said, what they said. Do you need to just like cut the cords and leave that behind? So these are interesting cards. Right, number 6. Number 6. Oh, interesting. Again, synchronicities. Again, we have cards which could be interpreted to be quite similar to 1, 2, 4, and perhaps another one as well. I think we've got the Ace of Cups reversed and the Sun. All right, it feels to me like something on an emotional level. We're looking at cups and we're looking at a reversed ace. Aces are new beginnings, and when it's reversed, it's like something that you thought was going to get off the ground didn't emotionally. Or it could be that a new phase that you'd felt kicking off. You know, when somebody lights your fires and you're like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go in this direction. It doesn't have to be a relationship, but it has to be with cups. It's something that you're passionate about. It's something that you feel good about, something that makes you think, wow, I love this. Yeah, it's something new as well, something that you were going to start. This could be a new relationship, it could be a new phase of a relationship that you're currently in, or a new phase of your relationship with yourself, like how you see yourself, how you experience happiness. Something that was going to start didn't. Yeah, it's like the relationship that never got off the ground. It's like the first date that never turned into the second date. It's like you're passionate about a new job. All right, that's work, but when you really feel it, it's cups as well. So if it would make you happy to do it, yeah, it's a new job, and then all of a sudden you get told, no, sorry, your contract's fallen through, or this project isn't getting off the ground, or perhaps a new hobby that you felt passionate about, and all of a sudden you can't do it because you haven't got any time. All right, something that would have made you happy that doesn't get off the ground. Okay. And you feel despondent about it. It can feel like, yeah, back to square one, that didn't happen. But what we're being told here, again, when one door closes, the other door opens. And again, this card signifies that the second door that opens for you after this sort of emotional disappointment, the second card that opens to you is the one that leads to the Sun, which means it's the one that is the path that's going to lead you to the most fulfilling end. Not end, don't use the word end, it sounds like death. Think of a different word. Fulfilling destiny. We'll use destiny. It feels like this, the sun shines on this path. Also, look at the illustration. Here we have a kid on a horse and he's naked, and that's to symbolize that he's carefree. He's not even holding on to the horse. He's like galloping the horse like, look mum, no hands. Okay, because he's confident, he's adventurous, he's happy, joyful, carefree. Okay, so it feels like this is this is literally one of the best cards in the whole deck. It's like when you see this card in a reading, it's like the sun is shining on you. So these cards combined, it's like, don't mourn this loss, don't mourn this emotional loss, okay? Because what's coming round the corner for you is so much more emotionally fulfilling. There's so much more enjoyment waiting for you. And as well, there's a little bit of a nod to being reminded to be carefree, reminded that you are a joyful soul that is only here for a short amount of time in this incarnation. Okay, so make the most of it. Yeah, life is too short. Do something that makes you happy. Don't stick with doing things that don't make you happy if you don't have to. Yeah, of course, that's like some of us hate work and we've got to do it for money wise, but what about thinking about doing something new? Like I have a friend who hates her job and most days tells me how awful the job is. And I really wish that she'd try to do something else, but you know, she's tied in with rent and bills to pay, and she's done the same job for over 20 years, and so it's difficult to change. And but you know, I just wish that she'd set something up in the background to sort of grow in the background, her own business or something, so that there was this other direction, because life really is too short. So anyway, this second path, forget this, because you're heading towards the sun and adventure. Oh, one further thing I'll say about that card, it can also indicate overseas travel. So again, just forget about this one, because there's better things to come. Right, we have number 7. Is that 7? I think it is. No, it's not. It's 8. Number 8. Oh, number 8. Okay. What we have here is the Three of Swords and the Page of Swords reversed. What we've got here is a bit of heartbreak, and we've got swords here, so it's conflict, it's sharp, it's playing on your mind at the moment. It could be a quite upsetting time for you, and it feels like somebody's either let you down, or a relationship hasn't got off the ground. There's some kind of heartbreak to do with this page. Now, the Page of Swords is a knowledge seeker as well. He can be a messenger, he can be a person, he can be a knowledge seeker. So there's 3 nuanced readings there in one, and I give you all 3 because I'm just doing 2 cards here. It's impossible for me to say without the context of an entire spread exactly what this would mean. But with it being reversed, we've either got a youthful person who is quite intellectual, who is quite somebody who will seek knowledge, somebody who's curious, okay, but somebody who's become quite a disruptive influence, something that doesn't work out about this person, or it's something to do with you and going in search of knowledge, and it becoming sort of it being turned upside down and leading to heartbreak. It's like, what is it that's about this card that leads to this heartbreak? Because this card is very, very clear. This is like when things go wrong and your heart gets hurt, okay? But we're trying to work out why that is. So we've either got a youth who somehow caused this problem for you, so a younger person or somebody with an inspirational, carefree mind, that youthful mindset, okay, that causes this problem, or it's a knowledge seeker that causes this problem. Or it could be that you are the knowledge seeker and something happens that causes you to stumble in your search for new knowledge, ideas, something like that. The final the final interpretation of that card, the Page of Swords, would be a messenger, and it would be sort of a message received that wasn't something that you wanted to hear, which again would lead to that sort of heartbreak. So really, it's that Page of Swords reversed that we're looking at. What does that actually mean when it comes to working with that heartbreak card? So that's interesting. Let's see if that resonates with you. If you chose number 8, then let me know how that Page of Swords identifies for you. And who that could be. Is that you, or is that somebody else? Remember, the pages are about knowledge, curiosity. Can also mean, and a reversal on that card can also mean it's a bit confusing. So there might be an air of confusion around this situation, which is leading to these feelings of heartbreak and despondency. The good thing about this little duo of cards here is that this is a 3. Now a 3, like a 1 and a 2 is mum and dad, it's a unit, it's stability. When you've got a 3, it's mum and dad and they spawn a child. Or let's put it in like very, very minute terms, bacteria. When bacteria separate and then they separate, and then anything that sort of makes 3 of itself is movement, it's travel, it's change. So when you see the 3 of swords, this is a card that talks about heartbreak, but it's also talking about that heartbreak has spawned change and you're moving away from it already. So it's like it's gone through its worst time and now you're being asked to move forward and to sort of make new plans. All right, so that's the little set with our Page of Swords reversed here. Okay, let's go to number 7. Number 7. Hello, 24K999. What a loser, you're not even smart. What does that apply to? If that's me, you're absolutely right. Number 7. Number 7. Ooh, this is awesome. These are great cards to end on. What we have here is the Magician and the Ace of Wands. Okay, so what these cards are, these are awesome. Who chose number 7? You get the reward for having the best cards today. If I had my little ding dong bell thing, I would ring it, but I don't. I have put it somewhere else. So what this is manifesting something from nothing, yeah, and starting something new with a lot of power. So our Magician, I love the Magician card because he's like, as above, so below. He channels, he's a lightning rod. He takes inspiration and power from the heavens and he pulls it down through his body and then, pow, he manifests it into what he wants. He's the manifester. On the table in front of him, there are representations of the 4 suits. So you've got your cups, swords, pentacles, and the other thing. It's the other thing. Cups, swords, pentacles, wands, of course. He's got those on the table, and this signifies that he's able to manipulate all these things in order to manifest, to bring into reality what he only had in his imagination. Okay, so this card is all about the power of manifestation, and then teaming it with the Ace of Wands here. Wands is fire, movement, inspiration, energy, change, work, projects, tasks, creativity. With it being an ace, remember aces are about beginnings, things starting fresh, new, and they've like, the ace has probably got the most energy that any of the numbered cards have got in them from any deck. So it's like, pow, you land, you start. So these 2 cards together, these would be great. If you were just about to start your own business, this would be you. If you were just about to manifest a partner, this would be you. If you were just about to manifest health, if you were about to actually make things happen, so somebody that goes out into their community and causes actions, an activist, this would be you. Yeah, this is high energy, high octane manifestation energy skills. All right. So these are brilliant cards for doing that. And if you're thinking, yeah, well, I hadn't planned to do anything but sit on the settee today, so I'm not going to, these cards mean nothing to me. This is a kick up the butt because it's like, you've got the power. Go out and make it happen. So that was the 12 piles of 2 cards, 24 card reading. So do we have any questions? I don't know. While I do this next little bit, if you've got any questions, then put them into the chat with QQQ at the start. Now, what I've also done before we started, I used my Angel Oracle deck. These are cards that I designed myself. The Astral Angels Oracle, which will be published soon, hopefully. Actually, I could do with some of that manifestation and Ace of Wands energy to get this deck off the ground. And published, because it's not an easy task and it's not a cheap task either. It's going to take a bit of planning. So what we've got here is a card that I pulled from the deck before. Now I'm putting them on the screen like that because, let me just show you this so that you understand why I've done it like that. Because this is the deck that I made, okay? But what you'll see is that they're laminated, right? Because these are test prints that I had created, and then I've written my explanations on the back, and that's how I put a deck together. So I'll make a test deck and then you know, trial it out, but it's difficult because I can't shuffle these. So which is why that I've actually done it before, chosen the card and then put it on the screen for you. So the card that I pulled for you today, when you use an oracle, it's not, I tend to use them not so much for a reading as a 1 card sort of, here's some advice for the day. The Dragon Rider. The Dragon Rider, in fact, awesome. The Dragon Rider is that Magician and Ace of Wands energy personified. Dragon Rider is about power, is about having the skills and the energy to carry you through. It's fire energy, really, really manifesting in you. It's creative drive. So the Dragon Rider says, and what you've seen, what you've got on the screen there, when I painted these images, I channel the images. So when I was channeling from this energy, the Dragon Rider, this is the message that I received from this energy. So it is, know that there are dragons within you, dragons that are powerful and energetic. Harnessing dragon power and working in alignment with that force is the momentum to succeed. Learn to master your dragon and burn brightly with your limitless potential. Okay, so that's identical to the message really with the Magician and the Ace of Wands. It's like, let's channel that dragon power, that energy from the universe to create something new, to birth into life something which didn't exist before. That's all creativity is. People think like being creative is about art or sculpture or even poetry, but it can be just as long as you create something that is exterior to you, like cooking something, or just making something new, or being able to manifest something that didn't exist before. That's the power of creativity, and that's what the Dragon Rider's all about. So that's a really interesting oracle card to have pulled today, because it really fits in with that final card that we chose, final two cards there, the Magician and the Ace of Wands, which I love. So I hope that you can carry that energy with you today and try to manifest it into your life and create something. Thank you, KLG, for the links that you're sharing there. Okay, so White Buffalo Calf Woman, what is my next step, please? Okay, bear with me while I pick up my cards and give them a good shuffle, because we need to shuffle properly. What I should have to set this would be more professional of me, wouldn't it? I should have another deck pre-shuffled standing by in the background so that I could just pick these up, like, and here's one I prepared earlier, and then it would save time, wouldn't it? And it would save me having to do this while everybody sits and waits. However, I could do that, but I just love this deck. I love working with this deck, and it's my favorite deck. So, and it's specific to this deck in particular. Rather than just, I mean, I could go and buy, this is the Golden Universal Tarot is the deck that I'm using, but even if I bought another Golden Universal Tarot, it wouldn't have the history with me that this deck has, because I think as a reader you get a real relationship with your cards. Yeah, you can each card has its own special meaning. It's like, for example, Kaza's card, the Cabbage Man card. Now I will always look at that card and think of the Cabbage Man and Kaza, and it's added another layer of meaning to what that card is. Like, because I've now asked it to show up and tell us when we're going to have a great day, when the sun is going to shine. I hope it shines literally where you are today, because I think it's going to here, and I think I might even go outside, which is quite new. So I'm just blethering here as I'm trying to shuffle to avoid the awkward silence. Do you know, I've worked out that on this software I might be able to upload royalty-free music. So I don't know if you saw the other day, and I was saying, I need some sort of lift music, so when I'm shuffling it can be playing in the background, so that there's something sort of, do 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 do, like that. So I found a little bit on this software where you can upload music, so I hope I might do that for Wednesday. So come back on Wednesday if you want to hear some special shuffling music. Right, okay, we're going to go for this. So what's your next step? White Buffalo Calf Woman. It's Carol, isn't it? Okay, so this is talking about your next step is sort of, right, we've got the strength card combined with the Three of Cups feels to me like you've had to be really strong recently, and it feels like somebody tried to take something from you and you didn't know how strong you had to be until that you had to be that strong. Because what we've got is the Knight of Swords making an appearance here as well in the upright position. So it feels to me that you had to fight somebody, you had to be strong, and it feels like confrontation really isn't your forte, but you had to be. You had to stand up for yourself, okay? You had to make sure that somebody else didn't take advantage of you. And you did a good job of it, okay? Because strength is about gentle strength. It's not about the brute force of the Chariot. It's about knowing your inner strength, knowing what you're good at and what you're not, and being able to change the path of what's going to happen and manipulate what somebody's doing by using gentle persuasion and strength. If you look at the card, the woman opens the jaws of the lion, not by sort of sticking a big stick between them and levering them apart, but by stroking the lion's nose gently, and she probably sings a little song into its ear, and then it goes like that and just gently opens its mouth. So she's achieved the almost unachievable by just gently doing it, okay? But then we've got the Knight of Swords, which is the riding into battle. So these cards talk about you having to use your inner strength, but knowing you had to go for this confrontation. You had to do it even though you didn't want to, but it feels like you did. You used your inner strength, you got through this situation, and now what you've got is a Three of Cups. So it feels like your life is moving to a more celebratory phase. Feels like now this battle is over. Now you have won a battle. Now you have averted. Somebody wanted to cause problems for you. Somebody wanted to take what's yours. Somebody wanted to be unpleasant or something like that, and you had to stick up for yourself. But now that's finally swept out the way, you can celebrate. All right, you can go back to that time where you felt more carefree, where you felt things were happier, times were happier. That time is returning to you. So you're becoming more like the person that you used to be. Yeah, the person that you used to be, that carefree, younger in mind, not necessarily younger in body. Of course, though, it would be in the past, it would be younger in body, but I feel it's more of a mental, youthful, carefree attitude that you can go back to now that this little confrontation is done, and it's your inner strength that saw you through. So you need to congratulate yourself, you need to celebrate your win, all right? Because I think we sometimes move through life not celebrating little wins, and it's important not to just roll on to the next thing, but to actually give yourself credit for what you've achieved. Thank you, Anita, for those music suggestions, but it has to be royalty free or copyright free. So I don't think I could use those. It has to be like, I've got some meditation music which is royalty free, which I use when I'm making meditation CDs, which I could use, and there's you can buy like vocalized ones as well, so I'd have to have a look. Right, I'm going to scroll up, and this is the bit where I make that weird face like that because I don't have my glasses and I can never see when there's questions, and I bet Gav has totally forgotten that he was going to text me the questions, hasn't he? Let's just check my phone, and he has. So it was ages ago that we were talking about it, to be fair. So I'm just going to do right, we need the incidental music on again. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I can't see any questions. Oh, lots of stuff about my nose. Yeah, man. Oh, can you imagine after me spending a year of worrying about dying from cancer and I get taken out by death by disco? It would be awesome, wouldn't it? A sparkly demise. Right. I still haven't seen any questions, but I'm sure I saw a couple during. I'm not even halfway down the chat. I'm going to have to just go straight to the bottom, otherwise it's going to take me ages. And I'm really self-conscious because I'm like, oh, staring there. Yeah, thanks, Mr. Steve. Yeah, the royalty-free music. I'm gonna see what I can find. Um, don't think I've got any more questions then, have I? Oh, hang on, we've got some more. Who has a question, Aussie Mel? Cheyenne. Is it Cheyenne? Cheyenne that's got a question? It is an Aries where to go, isn't it? I can't see any questions. If you've got a question, then type it in now, please. And bear in mind that it takes the chat a couple of blooming minutes or a minute or 30 seconds or something to actually catch up. Cheyenne has a question. Right, I'm looking for your question, Cheyenne, here. I can't see it. Aha! Oh no, that's the same question as I just answered. Right, so it's not that one. I still can't see. Ah, ha, ha! I found it. Right, Cheyenne Blue. Is my application going to be granted, please? Lovely sky. Ooh, I would like a yes/no question. Right, let's have a good shuffle of the cards. Incidental music or some singing? I'm sure I've seen another question as well about does TS love me? Right, I mustn't think of that because it'll answer that. So Cheyenne Blue, is my application going to be granted? Is my application going to be granted? I've got the High Priestess reversed. So it feels like it's not going to be in the way that you would imagine. However, it feels like there's more depth to this. It's not as simple as a yes/no answer for some reason. It feels like there's going to be something that becomes apparent because the High Priestess reverse is about the deep, the uncovered, the secrets, things that are kept within, things that are not yet known, things that it's about intuition as well. But with regards to, because we always take tarot in context, so with regards to asking a question, is my application going to be granted? It's a positive card. The High Priestess is usually it's a yes card, but it's sort of like with it being reversed, it's like it's talking about the depths of it. It's talking about there's something else that's going to happen first, it feels, before that comes to fruition. And of course, I obviously don't know what that is because I don't even know what your application is, but it does feel like there's something that's not on the surface as yet about it. So the answer isn't clear, but it feels like it's a yes, but it feels like there's something else that needs to be done. And I hope that makes sense, or I hope it does get granted. I hope that's what you want and it does get granted, but it does, the cards are saying that there's something which isn't known yet. I did see another. I'm going to come back to you, White Buffalo Calf Woman. I'll answer that question as well. But I had seen something which was a really quick little question that I'd seen somebody ask. There we are. Anita, does TS love me? That was the one. Right, so I'm going to answer this and then I'll answer White Buffalo Calf Woman's question as well. So, Anita, does TS love me? If I had music on, it would help me focus because I'm like, it's like, I feel quite self-conscious focusing because I'm like quiet and staring off into the ceiling and that, and it's really weird. Does TS love me? Does TS love me? Does TS love me? Does TS love me? Does TS love Anita? Anita. Okay. Okay, right. So feels like you've got walls up. It feels like you have built around you a sort of there's barriers. It feels like you've been hurt in the past and you've built up barriers. And what you've done is you've gone down a very unorthodox route here. Feels like you're trying something quite alternative, trying something quite new. And it feels like your third card here was the Chariot. Now, what this would suggest would be hold on tight because things are going to move very quickly. But you've got to be willing to accept that things are going to be quite alternative as well. So, first of all, what are the barriers that you've built up? Okay, what are these self-imposed prison that you've put yourself into? Okay, this is you. Look at you being resilient here, standing your ground. But sometimes that can trip us up because we become like super sensitive to criticism, or we become that we can't open up to somebody, we can't let them in, and that's like people pick up on that, you know, because we are intuitive animals. People pick up on when you've got a wall up and you're not forthcoming, and it makes them draw back. Okay, so it feels like TS might be picking up on that wall and drawing back. So it feels like you need to first of all try to work on yourself and to lower those barriers and to accept that things with TS are not going to be the path well trodden. Okay, it feels like an unorthodox path forward, but it does feel like it's moving that way because we have the Chariot here as well. Now, I also pulled the Strength card for you. So we've got two major arcana cards in this little reading here, which means that it's a transformative change. But I feel like you're going to have to exercise a lot of inner strength and hold on to the reins tight because this is going to be an unusual journey, shall we say. It feels like it's going to be something that you didn't expect, or it feels like it's not going to be traditional. It's not going to be a traditional relationship in any way, shape, or form, okay? But it's moving in that direction nonetheless. So I feel like, in answer to your question, does TS love me? I would say that love is too simplistic a word to be applied to what I'm seeing here. It feels like there's the potential for true love to develop, but it feels at the moment there's that struggle between you've got barriers up and there's like that unorthodox, unusual path. So it could be that there's something that needs resolved between you in order that you can move forward, or you need to ensure that you're both accepting of each other's unusualness, that Hierophant card reverse. I'm saying there was two major arcana, there were three major arcana, so it's a really important thing for you, Anita. But it does feel like you're going to have to work on either accepting their idiosyncrasies or asking for your like unique unusualness, the things that make you you, to be accepted, okay? Because this is an unusual, unorthodox path. So exercise your inner strength, hold on tight to the reins, and don't compromise yourself. If you feel like somebody isn't going to accept you because you're slightly unusual, or maybe they want you to do something in a more usual way, or they want you to conform in a more usual way, don't do that. Exercise your inner strength. Exercise you holding on and putting this is a card of boundaries as well. Maintain your boundaries. Don't let somebody dictate to you how you should be. Maintain your unique and unusual path forward. But it does feel to me like there's a lot of mileage left in this relationship, Anita, and it's a very unusual one, and in how it develops and how it progresses. So finally, we have got White Calf Woman again. I think if I scroll down, right. Will he be with me by the end of the month? White Buffalo Calf Woman. Let's have a look. Aussie Mel, I love that idea. Sing the question. Sing the question. Let's sing. Singing makes me happy. I often walk around the house singing at the top of my voice, and it always sort of shifts the energy, I find. Also, slightly off topic, but you know, people use sage to smudge. You can also smudge your home or person or work or wherever with sound, and sound is great for casting out negative or unpleasant energies. So singing, banging on pans is a good one. Playing musical instruments really loud music, but singing because it's so personal to you, is a really good way to expel negative energies and recharge your atmosphere. So I'm sure my neighbours don't agree with that, but they're lost. Okay, so is he going to be with me by the end of the month? That's only 2 weeks. Do you mean in a month's time or by the end of this month? So we're going to go for by the end of this month. Is he going to be with me by the end of this month? It feels like he is. We've got the Six of Wands here, so you've only got 2 weeks there, but it feels like this is a card of victory. This is a very resounding yes. Six of Wands. Look, this person's ridden into battle. They're returning with the wreath of flowers on their staff, because it's like, you know, when the warriors were riding home and people used to, the village people would chuck wreaths of flowers on them. One's caught on his staff here. So it feels like he is. And I'll be entirely honest, I shouldn't do this when I read cards, but I was thinking, oh, it's probably going to say no because it's not very long, is it? And oh, I hate it when I have to give people like negative news. And then there we go. The cards are actually saying yes. So that's great news, White Buffalo Calf woman. But it's not, you know, it's quite a short time period, which is why I thought it might be the other way. It might say that it wasn't going to happen so quickly. But this is a yes. So whether they're actually going to be by your side or just moving towards you remains to be seen, but this is a definite yes to that question, so that's really interesting. I hope that works out. Let me know how, keep coming back and let me know, because you've only got 2 weeks to find that out. So let's have a look. What else do we have? Cheyenne Blue, thank you for the feedback there. Okay, 24K 999, because you've put this in, I'm going to answer this as well. I know we're overrunning on the time here, but what the hell, eh? Right, QQQ, not a single official person has come to talk to me to ask my side of what's going on or any court documentation. Will anybody come soon, or will the country have to be invaded to change this? Well, that's a very specific question, and I obviously don't know what you're talking about, 24K, and I'm just going to ask the question blind, okay? So bear with me while I focus and shuffle the cards while I read the question out again, just to focus on that energy. Not a single official person has come to talk to me to ask my side of what's going on or any court documentation. Will anybody come soon, or will the country have to be invaded to change this? All right, so it feels like things are stuck. So we've got a reversed King of Wands, and we've got the reversed reversed what, my head's just gone blank there. Blanc. Six of Swords. It's because I've been talking too long now. I'm just losing the plot. So the Six of Swords reversed, and we've got the King of Wands reversed. Feels like that things are stuck, and this is a judicial thing. The King of Wands can be a leader, but it can be court stuff as well. It can be legal, somebody in charge, and it feels like there is a delay to do with the way that the court is operating. Okay, and it feels like it's stuck because the Six of Swords is about leaving and going to a better place, but it feels like when it's reversed, it feels like you're stuck there, and it feels like the final card there is the Five of Swords. So it feels like you're going to have to shake the tree, rock the boat. You need to get back in touch with them, and you need to sort of kick off, if that makes sense, because it feels like, you know, when something just gets put in a drawer and something just gets, oh, there's just too complex, there's a problem with it at the moment, there's something that needs ironed out, we'll just put that on the back burner for now. I'm not saying that's what's happened, but it's that sort of energy. It's like there's a sticking point that I'm interpreting to mean like legally, okay? And it feels like the sticking point is with the court. You've mentioned court, so that makes sense. All right. So it feels like, you know, when something is administrative or red tape, that red tape thing where things are stuck and not moving forward, not because it's like just waiting for dates or waiting for something to happen. It's like the red tape, things aren't getting done. There's something that is stuck. And this card would say to me, what you need to do is take matters into your hands, put some energy into this, because remember, where your energy goes, the thought flows, and then action happens. So I would suggest to you, 24K, that rather than wait for somebody to come to you to tell you what's going on, you need to take the bull by the horns and contact them to get things moving, because it could be, you know, have you ever done this where you're waiting to hear from something, you're waiting to hear, you're waiting to hear, you're waiting to hear, and eventually you get sick and then you contact them and they're like, oh yeah, well, we were waiting because we didn't have such and such form for you. This happened to me with a legal thing last year. And I was like, but this has been going on for 2 months, and like, couldn't you have just rang me and told me you needed this form? And like, there was no answer to that, of course, because they were solicitors, and solicitors feel like they don't need to give us answers. But, you know, it was just that by me ringing, I was then able to go, well, send me it and I'll sign it and send it back to you. But if I hadn't made that phone call, I could have sat around for 6 months, a year, 10 years, waiting for this thing to happen because nobody had bothered to tell me that's what was needed. So I'm relating that experience to what you're talking about here. So I think you need to take the bull by the horns. Thank you for that question. I hope that works out for you. Mandy, please ask tarot to reveal whatever message I need to hear today. That's a lovely, lovely open-ended question. I love that. So effective sometimes to ask open-ended questions. Sometimes it really is, because it gives spirit or your higher self or whatever you want to call it that opportunity to get a message to you, rather than just sort of, I can imagine, you know, I sort of visualize all your spirit guides sitting around waiting, going, you know, they're going, ask the question, when in actual fact they must go like, oh, that's a relief. It's like getting a blank when you're playing Scrabble or a Joker. It's like, you know, it's a wild card. Now they can give you the answer that you hadn't asked the question for. So what do you have for Mandy today? Tarot cards, universe, spirit, Mandy's guides. What do we have for Mandy today? Let us have a look. Thank you, Aussie Mel, for posting that bit of information there. Yeah, I can't go on forever this morning. I am back on Wednesday and Friday morning, same time. Or you could even get a full reading if you book on my website. But those are paid for readings, and this is free and always will be. So, but obviously if you get a full reading, then you get a full half an hour to yourself. Right. Mandy, what does the tarot have for Mandy today? I hope you're feeling better, Mandy. Okay, so what we've got is a decision needs to be made. You have judgment. You're at a crossroads. You need to choose one path or the other. And it feels like it's like you're being handed an opportunity here. This is the hand coming out of the clouds with we've seen the Ace of Wands earlier today as well. This is new opportunity, new energy, creativity, forward motion. But it feels like you need to make a decision to go down this path. Feels like you'll be offered an opportunity and you might be thinking, oh my goodness, should I go this way? It's going to be a lot of work, or it's going to mean I'm going to have to do this as well. And it's up to you to make that decision. But it feels to me like you can confidently go down the path which leads to that sort of new, something starting new. So if you were wondering, oh my goodness, I can't start something new because I don't have the energy or the time right now, but you really, really would like to, but it's a dilemma. Here's your dilemma. You need to make a judgment call. It feels like these two cards together are saying it's okay to take on board this new task or this new project or this new way of doing things, because the energy is there for you to start something new. And where it leads to is my third card that I pulled here, which is the King of Cups. And this is emotional fulfillment. It leads to the King of Cups, which is a positive direction. It could also be the King of Cups is also a manager. So it could well be that you're choosing a new direction at work that leads you into a position of more responsibility or management, or to be in a position where you have more control over your own life and balance with work-life balance, or, you know, something to do with gaining some mastery, putting your crown on, being master of your life. So in summary then, you've got a choice to make. It's very often a crossroads judgment, because you have to sort of give yourself a little bit of a life review and decide which way you want to go. It could well be that one of those ways is something completely new, which you might think, oh gosh, should I try that or should I not? This card says go for it, try it, because it could lead you to the position of being the King of Cups, which is mastery, which is somebody with a crown on who is in charge. It's that emotional balance. He is somebody who is open-minded, who has gained a sort of mastery. He's come to the top of his profession, and he's very happily sitting there on his throne with his crown on, looking back and thinking, I'm pleased I made that decision at that time. I'm pleased that I watched the Sky Spirit channel and listened to that card reading and made that decision. So there you go, Mandy. I hope that resonates with you. And it sounds like a really exciting time for you about to start. So, oh, I'm scrolling down the chat here. I'm going to answer one more question here because I've just scrolled down and seen that there is a question from Namira. Namira, will I get the job as counsellor? I just had the interview. Oh, how exciting. How exciting. I will ask the cards that, and then I'm going to let you go. So will Namira get the job as counsellor that she's just had the interview for? So we've got a yes, no. Pretty much a yes, no, isn't it? Question. But of course, there's always sort of, I don't know. Right, we'll just ask the cards. So I don't try and second guess when I'm asking questions like this. Will Namira get the job as counsellor? Will Namira get the job as counsellor? Okay, so I've got the card for the Ace of Pentacles, which is a new job. It's a new beginning. Okay, so this card says yes. All right, but then we've also got, I did 3 cards. I don't know why I did 3 when it's a yes, no, but I did 3 anyway. So we've got yes, but we've also got a card of balance, and this is talking about having to balance 2 things. So it could well be that there's this, you're asked to do something else as well, or it could well be that you need to balance this with what you're already doing, or that there's something else you need to take on board with it, because what we've also got here is the 9 of Pentacles reversed, and this is a card where it could be that the independence that you want isn't achieved. So it could well be that you do get offered the job, but there's a caveat where you don't have the autonomy that you would have liked. Okay, so that's an interesting, if I'd just chosen one card, it would have been a yes. Okay, but because for some reason I was drawn to take 3 cards, we've also got this little caveat, which is, but there is this thing about this duality, this balance, or perhaps taking on something else, or there's something else involved. And it could well be this card reversed, the 9 of Pentacles reversed, can be like having to be dependent on somebody else having to be involved, not having the autonomy or independence that you would have wanted. So it feels like a yes, but with caveats there. Okay, so I hope you get what you want, Namira, and let me know how that goes. Right, okay, I'm all done. I'm all done, yes. Have a fantastic day. As I mentioned before, I am back on Wednesday morning and Friday morning, 10:30 GMT. That's British summertime at the moment. Come back, come and see me. It's brilliant to spend time with you in the morning. It sets me up for the day, I know that. So I hope it has a benefit for you too. It's been fantastic to spend a little bit of time this morning going through the cards and seeing all the questions that you ask. And so I hope to see you back on Wednesday or Friday or both. Come back, have a fabulous day and stay weird.